everyone, Stacy Carmichael here. I have a special guest.
Hi, I'm Tiara Jackson.
And we are going to talk about teenage pregnancy and the obstacles that you face during teenage pregnancy and how you can overcome. So, if you will, give us a little brief overview of what obstacles and stuff you had to face, a little bit of your history and your experience with teenage pregnancy.
Okay, so I had my first child at 16 years old. At 16 years old, being pregnant, it didn't come with the manual. And when I became pregnant, Mama said, you made your bed, so you have to lay in it. Not giving me full details of what that meant at the age of 16, I didn't understand. But as I became pregnant and the baby started growing, I began to feel the cramps, the movements, and then when I gave birth, the labor pain. That's what put me into the mode of being a mother. Many obstacles came about at the age of 16. I was still in high school. So at that point, I was trying to finish my education while being pregnant, but that didn't work. Even after having my baby, my mama was ill at the time. So it was very hard for me to go to school and be a full-time parent to my baby. A lot of things occurred in between that time, and then 3 years later I became pregnant again with twins. So it was even more of a challenge at that age, because at that point my mom had passed away. So I have support and I have loved ones that has been there, but it's nothing like having your mom.
Okay, so first tell us, were you ever able to finish high school? Like, did you get your high school diploma at some point in time?
It was 15 years later, actually. 15 years later, I went back to school and received my high school diploma. TLC Leadership Academy is a great school to attend for teen moms, even teen fathers, because most fathers have to take their child and raise them, even though the mom gave birth. It's a very affordable school, 1 day a week, Monday, and you learn about the Bible and you get your education while you're in school. So I do thank God for that school, because it was affordable to me and it was very convenient. It was only 1 day a week, for maybe like 6 hours, but I did learn a lot from that school in that time frame.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about how it was for you when after your mom passed away and going through your time of grieving along with caring for your children at that time. How did you seek out help? Where did you get the strength from to keep pushing and keep doing that? Who was your support system?
At the time when my mom passed, I was 20 years old, so like I didn't really understand like what happened, and why she was leaving me at such a young age, right when I was giving birth. Like that's when I needed her. But I have support from my family and my friends. I have like some true friends that have been by my side since like day one, like even up to now, that I could still call on and they're there. Um, I look back over and I see that my true strength came from God.
Right.
At the time, I didn't know, because I was going to church, but I wasn't in the church. Now that my first priority is God, and He's the sole provider, and He's the head of my life. I realized that if it had not been for Him, I couldn't have made it. Not even just with them, and then after having my twins, I still had two more kids after that. And all of this happened like by the age of 25, 26. I had 5 kids at that time. I was a single mom, taking care of my kids on my own. Yes, daddy was there, but daddy wasn't there. Um, and we all know how that go. When things are going good, they're there, and then when it's not, then they're not. But at that time, I had to realize that it does not matter if daddy's there or not. I still have to be the mother. I still have to take care of my kids, and I still have to provide for them. No, it wasn't easy. I was working, having friends and family to watch them for me while I'm working. to make ends meet for me and for them. And I have a lot of support, and I truly thank God for a lot of them, because if it had not been for a lot of them, I don't know how I would have made it, And like I said, I was young, and I have always had all five of my children. So I have always supported and taken care of all five of them on my own. So I truly know that my help and my strength came from God. If it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't, be this strong woman I am today if it wasn't for Him.
Okay, so how many years has it been since you had your first child at the age of 16?
My oldest child will be 20 years old in August.
Okay, so it's been 20 years.
20 years.
All right, so so now having been 20 years and you are where you are in life today, what advice would you have for your younger self, for another teenage mother that's in that situation right now?
The advice I would give to a teenage mom is that hold on to your strength and know who you are as a young woman. It doesn't matter the age you are, because I know some girls get pregnant at 13, 14. My daughter, she got pregnant at the age of 15, and now she's finna be 20. I encouraged her. I stood by her side. No matter what people thought, no matter what people said, that didn't determine who she was. Because you are entitled to mistakes. Nobody's perfect. We all striving for perfection, but nobody's perfect. So you're gonna make some mistakes along the way, but it's how you move on from those mistakes that counts. It's like taking the first step when you don't see the staircase. You just have to know that it's there. I would just encourage you just to be the best mom that you can be to your child, because your child looks up to you, and trust me, they remember everything that you go through. They may not express it, they may not say anything about it, but like now that my kids are older, they always come and say, "Mom, I remember this," or "I remember that. I remember when this happened." And some things I can't believe that they remember, but they remember the littlest things, the time you spent when you took them to the ice cream parlor. They remember all those things. So I would just advise you just to be the strong woman that you can be to your child, and make it happen. Be a go-getter. Don't sit around and depend on nobody, to do this and do that for you. I'm pretty sure we all have support, and sometimes that's limited on their terms and what they can do for you, but you be the person that you are, and you go get it, and you make it happen for you and your child. And just know that God will see you through any obstacle that you're facing in life, that He will hold you up, and no matter what situation that you're going through. And if you don't have a relationship with God, I advise you to get a relationship with God, because He's that friend that you can talk to when you can't talk to nobody. You can go to Him with your silent tears and prayer when it gets too rough for you and your child, or you and your children. Just know that God is a provider, and He'll be there to see you through. Nothing is impossible with Him. So if you don't have a relationship with God, I would advise that you get a relationship with God. And it don't have to be deep, simple prayers to Him, but just be who you are, and be the strong woman that God have called you to be. You may not see it now, because some things that we face in life, but eventually you will see, what God was doing to get your attention, to pull you out of a situation, to make it happen for you and your family.
All right, so now that we're to the end of this video, do you have any closing remarks? Anything you feel like you left out that you want to get in there?
First, I just want to say thank you to my sister Stacy for allowing me to do this video too.
Thank you for doing it.
To encourage the younger teenage women. It could be young teenage men too. I just want to encourage you to keep going. Don't give up, no matter what it looks like, no matter how you feel. Because I know sometimes we let our feelings get the best of us. I just know that if God did it for me at a young age, at 16 years old, and now I'm 36, and now I can see my fruit. My twins are 17 years old, graduating early from high school. You know, so if he did it for me, he equipped me, he built me up. You know, I had many obstacles I faced in life, not just with pregnancy, relationships. I had
Right.
many obstacles that came up against me, but I was determined to make it. Like, I came from a family of a bunch of strong women, so me failing was not an option. You know, I always had somebody pushing me, encouraging me in my back. You know, my pastor, my mother. You know, I have friends. You know, family. Keep going, Tiara. Like, it gets better over time, and trust me, it do get better over time.
Mhm.
So I would say keep going, and if God did it for me at the age of 16, He'll do it for you at the age of 13, 14, 15, at whatever age you become pregnant. Even if you're older, you know, God will do it for you. He doesn't have a respectable person. You know what He did for others, He will perform that same for you.
Mhm.
So trust Him. You know, be led by God. And I know it's kind of hard sometimes to trust Him when we're in our situation, but that's when it matters the most. That's when you truly know that He's there for you, right in the middle of your situation. He has a way of turning that situation around for you and having it work out in your favor. So I would just advise you to trust God and continue to strive and continue to go hard,
Right.
especially for your family. Because at the end of the day, you don't want nothing to be said that you didn't try your hardest or you didn't make it happen.
Right.
You know, so keep going.
Okay, and so one last question. As you are, well, we are pushing teenagers towards God. So for you, what was your experience? What was that determining factor of, I really need God to bring me through this? What like drove you to Him? And how did you, like, was it easy for you to go to Him, or did you go into a building? Did it happen at your house? Like, what was that process like for you?
I was always raised in a church. My grandma kept us in the church at a young age. So I kind of always knew about God and how serious it was for church. And then as I got older, just because I was forced to go, I strayed for a moment because I felt like, I wanted to live my life. But then there was a moment when I had my own encounter with God. Um, it happened on several different occasions because I would go get a refill and then run out and do what I want to do, and then come back and get a refill and then go back and do what I want to do. But it was at one moment when I almost lost my life to domestic violence that I
Mm-hmm.
really seen like the calling on my life, and that how God spared me at that moment. And then that's when I realized that I have to get my life together for me, because that could have been my moment of me losing my life and me being taken away from my 5 children, but He kept me. So at that moment I knew that was Him sparing my life, and then that was Him letting me know that He made the impossible possible. So it was at that moment that I made up in my mind that I have to get on track. I have to do what God is requiring of me. No, it wasn't easy. It's like you committing to it, but you don't know the outcome,
Right.
because you're committed to it, and that's when the enemy really comes at you, because he see that you're on track and you're committed to serving God. So it's
Mm.
not gonna be easy. I'm not gonna lie to y'all and tell y'all, oh, you're gonna be perfect tomorrow. No, it's a process.
That's right.
It's up to you how bad you want it. So that was my encounter that really made me to surrender to
Mm.
God.